minors or adolescents of the same age might show different levels of maturity. Age, context, and development can all play a role in decision-making and competence. And that's what we've looked at in our previous lessons when we were looking at neurodevelopmental changes. Also, parents that can be deemed rational conversational partners as children. Sorry, I'll start that again. In addition, patients that are deemed rational conversation partners, and by that is a way of sort of testing out someone's rational decision-making abilities, as a child can suddenly become non-compliant as adolescents. So that means even if they are deemed capable and able to make decisions in childhood, they can become non-compliant or unable, or at least less able to make decisions during adolescence, during that crucial, critical period of development that is adolescence and all the brain changes that come alongside it. And this is from a medical paper, which I have linked below, from 2017, which is titled Medical Decision Making in Children and Adolescents, and it takes into account developmental and neuroscientific aspects. I'll link it at the end as well if you'd like to give that a further read when you go through planning your essay. So let's take a look at some situational or relational differences then. So by this I mean not every decision, as we've spoken about before, or not every ability to make a decision will be the same depending on the situation. And the situation has a lot of power over someone's ability to reason and make a good decision, particularly for adolescents and teenagers. And again, let's return to our example of medical decision making here. Medical decisions have reciprocal implications for patients' identity and relationships to others. Adolescents might consider what a decision a good child, brave patient, or independent, quote-unquote, actor would make, thereby infusing their perception of others' opinions into their medical decision. So what does this all mean? Well, as we discussed in the previous lesson, adolescents or teenagers, including 14-year-olds, are much more vulnerable to influence of peer pressure. They're much more likely to sort of go with the herd and follow the crowd in terms of decision making. And this extends to medical or healthcare decision making, i.e. decision making that involves their bodies. So when they're making decisions about healthcare treatments, maybe whether to take a treatment, whether to not take a treatment, it could be something different. It could be about whether they want to go into a therapy setting in a mental health context. They might be very much more likely to be influenced by the perception of others, especially their peers, and also how others might judge their decision. And I'm going to repeat this quote that we had last time because I think it's really, really interesting. And it really ties together what we're trying to say. For chronically ill children, adolescence is a time where the disease management approach can change, sometimes creating risky or even life-threatening situations. The increased mortality seen in adolescence is mostly associated with risky behaviour, sensation-seeking, and peer influences that affect decision-making. So what does this all mean then? Well, it means that clinicians should seek to understand the extent to which an adolescent is weighing others' opinions in making a decision, and if this level of consideration promotes the adolescent's health and their healthy relationships. So it's really important that when we think about 14-year-olds, we need to think, okay, how much influence does their peer group have on them? How much influence is peer pressure having on them? And if peer pressure is involved, is it good peer pressure or is it not so good peer pressure? And these things should all be taken into account.